Good evening, Drew.
All I know is this better fucking work.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I texted Paul right before we were supposed to start recording to say that I'd be 10 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a million reasons I could be late to this podcast, Paul.
Okay.
What do you think it was this time?
Well, I mean, the usual reason is your computer's in pieces.
Okay. You're half right.
Okay. Half right.
You're half right.
Okay.
My computer was in pieces last weekend.
Okay.
It didn't dawn on me until right before we were supposed to start recording that, I don't have Skype or Audacity installed.
Got it.
Now, I'm very, very upset with myself because we covered before that Audacity got weird a while ago, and I had an extra special tucked away copy of Audacity before it got weird. Apparently, if you open your Synology from Windows, the default behavior isn't copy, it's move.
Ooh.
So I think I lost it forever
No.
when I had to reformat my computer last weekend.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I had to go find a recent version of Audacity. I just grabbed the latest version, and of course it's completely different.
Yeah.
Nothing is where I think it is. Just why can't they just leave things the way they are? Why are we always disrupting things? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, Skype had to be installed. Audacity had to be installed. You'd think that a professional broadcaster like myself would probably have his shit together, but it's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay, that was very stressful. Very stressful. I don't perform well under pressure.
Okay.
There's all kinds of shit that I could complain about this week.
Okay. What do you want to start, Drew?
Oh man, I don't know. Where do you want me to start, Paul?
This is start at the beginning. I want to hear about your computer, and you replaced the motherboard.
Yeah, everything's working.
Everything's working. Did you use that fancy fixture thing on the? No. What happened, Drew?
Okay, here's what happened.
Okay.
So last episode, when I talked about my jolly trip to Micro Center, things were good in the kingdom of Drew. The plan was this. The plan was I was going to buy a motherboard at Micro Center, which I did buy. I'm just walking you through my process here. Like, just come into my mind palace for a minute.
Okay.
Was going to buy a motherboard with the express intent of I'm still having this weird intermittent display issue with my computer. I'm at a point where I need to put something in the mail for an RMA or spend money on things to replace parts. I had the opportunity to pick up a really, really nice motherboard at Micro Center. Go back and listen to the last show if you want to figure out which one it is. So last Saturday, after my family all had left from the Thanksgiving holiday, I decided that, today is the day where we're going to do some work on Drew's computer. So there was 3 explicit goals for this. One was to replace the motherboard, which that in itself is not hard. It's very time consuming because we live in an era now where essentially your hard drives are part of your motherboard, right? So I can't just unconnect everything, take one motherboard out, put the other motherboard in. Like, you have to unscrew all your M2 hard drives, of which now I'm up to 5.
Ooh.
And I have to unscrew all of those, put them in the new computer, and redo all the cable management, redo all the fan headers. And that's to say nothing of disconnecting my all-in-one cooler and taking the processor out and putting it in the new one. It's a pretty intense operation. Again, not super hard, just time consuming. Now, that was stated goal number 1. And the intent there was, we're going to swap these motherboards out. We're going to see if I still have a problem. The other stated goal here was, again, a few shows back, I talked about how I'm very, very fond of a particular CPU cooling company. It's Arctic. And they make a series of CPU coolers called the Liquid Freezer series. They had a problem in manufacturing. They acknowledged it, and they basically said, hey, anybody who wants a replacement, mail us your old one. We'll send you a new one, or we can send you a kit. It's very easy to do the repair yourself. I watched several online videos. It did not seem hard. I'm like, fuck it, send me a kit. It's free. I just had to give them my serial number. Boom, no problem. So that's been sitting on my desk for months, right? Just waiting for the next time that I was going to have all of this apart, because I really wasn't having a problem. It is a bit of a ticking time bomb, but I just thought, hey, I'm gonna let it ride until I'm in a position where I either replace my processor, replace my motherboard, or have a good reason to be in there digging around. So that was stated goal number 2. Stated goal number 3 was to use that fancy CPU bracket thing that I talked about last time. Okay. Again, if you know me, what do I like more than anything in the world, Paul?
There's a lot of things. You like cool temps in your computer.
I like ice cold computers,
right,
man.
Yeah.
I like cool computers.
You worry very much about how hot your computer is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's part of the bio. And you know what? At this point, it's not a meme.
Yeah.
It's not a meme anymore. That is who I am as a person, and I accept it. So Saturday comes around, and I get to work.
Okay.
Now, again, the real wrinkle here was replacing the CPU cooler. Okay, so I'm going to give you the high level instructions here about what this kit was designed to do. So if you've ever looked at an all-in-one CPU cooler, what it is it is a pump that, you know, has
tubes.
It is basically responsible for circulating water through the pump, and that water is designed to capture the heat off of your processor, take that warm water over to a radiator, have fans that push cool air through there to cool the water, which then comes back through. It is a solid, well, not a solid state system, but it is a thermodynamic system that is designed to basically act as a really nice heat sink, because in order for your computer to get hot, that entire loop has to get hot. And just because of the way thermodynamics and heat transfer and all that other really goopy scientific shit works, it's designed to basically be a sink for that. Now, you can saturate the heat in the loop and you can hit higher temperatures, but you really have to be cranking that. You got to be cranking your hog really hard to make that happen.
Whole hog.
Okay. Whole fucking hog.
Whole fucking hog.
Now, on the bottom of, because this is designed to cool your CPU, essentially what you have, where the magic happens here is on the bottom of the cooler, there is usually a really nice flat copper plate. And that copper plate is designed to be the surface that interfaces directly with the top of your processor, which is where all of the heat comes from. And the tolerances and the spaces and things between your CPU and that copper plate are very, very small, but they exist. It is not completely flush. It will never be completely flush. And in order to facilitate keeping the transfer and maximizing the heat transfer from your CPU to that copper plate on the bottom of the cooler is your thermal interface. It's usually the goop that you put on top of your processor and then smush down. And that paste is formulated to be non-conductive and designed to act as a channel for that heat to fill those little nooks and crannies, just like a nice, tasty waffle. Keep it all together. Or no, English muffin. English muffin has the nooks and crannies.
Yep.
Oh, dude. Quick sidebar. I love Thomas's English muffins.
They're good.
I fucking love them. I have one every morning.
They're good.
They don't sponsor us. Don't sponsor us. Thomas's don't sponsor us.
I've recently switched to bagels over English muffins, but I was a big English muffin person. Yeah.
Any particular reason why? Or?
I just felt like I was at the grocery store. I was like, ooh, bagels, and there we go.
Just plain or
blueberry, a little bit some butter, toasted with some butter.
Okay, I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. That thermal paste is the interface.
The magic goo.
The magic goo. So in order to repair this thing, the first thing is you sort of have to disengage this entire apparatus from your current motherboard. Now, it's just mounting screws. So you undo the screws and you sort of like peel this thing off because the goop does form a little bit of a seal on it. So you pull that off. You get yourself some alcohol prep pads or some really nice 99% isopropyl alcohol and some sort of rag to clean up the old paste because you can't reuse it. I mean, it gets crusty. And it's not a terrible idea. It's sort of like a preventative maintenance thing to repaste yourself every once in a while. Title, and once that's off, that's when if you were just going to drop a new CPU in there, replace your motherboard, you would basically swap out the parts, repaste the CPU. I'm a big fan of the P drop method. Not the X method, not the squiggle methods, not the multiple vertical line methods. There's only one true method, and it is the dab right in the middle of the processor that you then put your cooler back on top of with uniform pressure, screw down your retention screws, and voila, you're done. Unfortunately, because I had to repair my old one, it wasn't going to be that simple. So the repair basically, Paul, is this. I had to take a very, very small screwdriver and unscrew 4 screws to lift up the copper plate on the bottom of the pump housing.
Okay.
Once I removed that, there is a rubber gasket in there. And the reason that there was this recall and this repair is that apparently that rubber was not galvanized properly. Best case scenario was it would degrade the cooling performance of the cooler. Because it would sort of gum up the little micro fins, and it's exactly what it sounds like. The little micro fins that the water sort of runs through that helps dissipate the heat before the water gets carried away.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, the entire gasket fails and starts leaking. So I basically, in order to make sure that I didn't make a mess, I disconnected my entire computer, carried it over to my back cellar where there's concrete and not carpet, and asked me how I know how to do this. And I basically disconnected the CPU cooler from my motherboard and had like a bucket that I was holding it over with one hand while I unscrewed these things. Because guess what? The minute you take that plate off and you take that gasket off, if you tilt this thing the wrong way, all the magic liquid's going to come out of your cooler,
got it.
And
Okay.
nothing's going to happen.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I unscrew the screws, and I immediately see that my gasket is obviously affected by this recall because it has started to degrade.
Okay.
There is goop, there is rubber residue all over the parts that shouldn't have rubber residue. Mm-hmm. And the instructions talk about hey, your replacement kit has a new gasket that is properly galvanized. We also give you a brand new plate. So if your other one's gummed up, don't worry about cleaning it because it's really hard to get between those little micro fins. You're just going to put this new plate on. We're going to give you 2 new screws to replace 2 of the smaller screws. Here's how you put this thing in. You screw it back together and you're done. And in case you do spill a little bit of your magic liquid out of the cooler, here's a little eyedropper. Well, not an eyedropper. Here's a little vial with more liquid that you can that you can top off.
Nice. Okay.
It was idiot proof, Paul. It was idiot proof.
But
I'm an idiot. So
good thing because it's idiot proof.
Yeah.
But
so
how bad is it, Drew?
well, here's what happened. Okay. I chickened out. And here's what happened.
Okay.
Here's what happened.
Okay.
So I take it all apart, and I have it apart, and I'm holding it over the bucket with one hand, and I'm getting the parts with the other hand, and it's not as bad as it sounds because this thing isn't heavy, and it's not awkward. And because I did the right thing and take the whole thing, radiator and all, out of the computer, I'm not tied to the computer. I can do the work where I need to do the work. Mm-hmm. It's not a problem. So the mistake I made was the gasket and the plate had to go on in a certain orientation. The gasket was very easy to see because it only really fit in there one way. The plate, on the other hand, needed to go in a certain way. Now, when you buy these coolers, the copper plate, in order to prevent scratching or damage to the plate, usually has a sticker on it that says, "Hey, remove before you install, dummy."
Right,
well,
yeah. I
took that sticker off before I realized that I didn't know what the top and the bottom was, and all the images and the instructions were put this on and then peel the sticker off.
Oops.
Now I fitted it both ways, and it very clearly sat the right way, but it gave me just enough of a uh-oh type scenario, right? And like as I'm sealing this thing on, I top it back up, and like as I'm screwing it, a little bit of water squeezes out the side, right? And that's kind of expected because there was water on the rubber, and like I'm screwing this thing back in with the retentions with the screws to put the plate back on, and like there's water beading along the side of it. So I get a little rag and I'm dabbing it off, and I dry it all off, right? But it's still a little damp because there's lots of little places that water can go. So I let it sit for a little while. And I came back downstairs after I ate lunch and I looked at it and it looked pretty dry. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, what if there's still water somewhere in there? Or what if this starts leaking? So I start shaking it. Nothing happens.
Okay.
And I just like, I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm like, a new cooler's like $200. If this thing leaks, it's not going to leak on my motherboard. It's going to leak on my $2,000 graphics card because that's how gravity works. Do I really want to risk this? Fuck it. I'm going back to Micro Center. So I said, screw it. I repaired it. I'm sure I repaired it correctly, but I have so much money tied up in this goddamn thing, Paul. I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to risk it, man. So I went and I just bought one off the shelf at Micro Center, like a perfectly good one that requires dumb software to properly configure. Like that's what I love about Arctic. It's like, here's a cooler, plug it in. No RGB, no dumb software. Just go. Here you go. You're good. Everything else is like, okay, plug in these 3 fan headers plus this USB thing to your computer. Yeah. The cable management sucks. And install this bloatware so you can properly set the RGB on this thing. I hate it. I hate it so much. The one I bought was an NZXT one, which I've owned. I actually own 2 other NZXT coolers in my other computers. These are perfectly fine. I think they're overpriced. This one has an LCD display on it that tells me my GPU and CPU temperature, but I can't even see it because it's under my desk. But it performs really well. The temperatures have been fine. I'm just here to say that, this is not a reflection on Arctic. This is just me being neurotic, and this is how I work. And I just want you to love me for who I am.
I just think it's hilarious. I mean, in a sad way, I feel bad for you that you had to go through all of this, but
yeah. I mean, I held on to that kit. My plan was to fully reuse this thing. Yeah. It was a great cooler. But then, I put everything back together. And then here's the real kicker of this story, Paul. And this is something this is a PSA for other system builders out there. If you've installed Windows in the last 18 months.
Okay, I have not.
The Windows installer has been increasingly pushy about you being online for the install.
Okay.
Part of that is they want you to sign in with a Microsoft account, and they want you to set your device PIN. They want to be able to download updates as you're doing your install. I get all that. Now, because I was pressed for time, my plan was I was going to swap these motherboards out, and I wasn't going to do an install.
Okay.
I was going from an Intel Z690 chipset to an Intel Z790 chipset. Now, obviously, there's going to be differences, but a lot of the things that these Intel boards use, like chipset drivers and things like that, are common. And my motherboard, as part of my troubleshooting and my personal hell, was updated to all the most recent stuff before. So I thought, okay, maybe there's a driver or two that doesn't work here, but I should be able to swap this motherboard out, not reinstall Windows, boot up and get into it. And boot up it did. It powered on, and it said, detecting hardware, please wait. But then I got to my login screen, and 2 things happened. The first thing that happened was, hey, we detected that you have a new TPM device. So you need to reset your PIN because all your encrypted stuff needs re-encrypted.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But guess what you have to do to reset your PIN? You have to be online.
Okay.
Guess what I didn't have?
Network drivers?
I didn't have the newest network drivers. Okay. how am I going to get into Windows to install these drivers, you might ask? Turns out you can't. I tried everything. I tried putting in my USB stick for recovery. I tried forcing it into the recovery boot up menu to get to like a command prompt. There was absolutely no way for me to bypass the login screen. I didn't get an option to use my password instead. I didn't get an option to log in with a local account. I got no options. And I guess that's a feature? ?
Yeah.
Whereas if I just steal your hard drive and put it in my computer, like I guess I won't be able to boot up into your copy of Windows, but lesson learned there. I wasn't able to do that. And that's why in this long roundabout story that I was late tonight.
Got it.
And then I found $5. As listener Mike Gadd would say. Yeah, so that's been my week. I have other frustrations, but I want to talk about other stuff.
Okay. I mean, we got a lot of content here. I don't think we're going to get it all in.
I don't know. We might.
Okay, all right.
We might.
Okay, where do you want to go next?
I was perusing the internet and I saw that Tom's Hardware had an article about a Geekbench rumor where apparently M2 Max CPU benchmarks have leaked.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which means that there is probably an incoming MacBook Pro. Grumble.
So it's not going to be this year. Well,
you don't
December.
think?
No, because Apple said like in the beginning of November that their lineup for the holiday season is set, which basically tells everyone there's going to be no new products. So it's not going to be at least through December. I'd be highly suspect. I don't think this is going to come out to like February. I just don't. If this is the first time it leaked, this means this is the first time someone's got like a production chip and no one was looking and they installed Geekbench and they ran it. Like, I think this is a couple months away from shipping.
Yeah, and I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready. Did you get a chance to read this article at all?
I looked at it. Yeah, and it's about what you would expect over the M2 to the M1. Yeah, and I don't have the. Do I have the Max or the Pro? You have the Pro. Yeah,
that's what I thought. I don't have the big boy, so this isn't even the Pro.
No.
And they were talking about the benchmarks, and it was really interesting the way that they brought it out. So. So apparently whoever ran this benchmark ran it on a 12-core processor backed by 96 gigs of RAM.
That's a lot of
RAM.
That's a lot of RAM.
That number jumps out at me a little bit because I don't think you can configure a laptop in any Apple configuration with 96 gigs of RAM.
That's a good question. What does the Mac Studio go up to?
Well, the Studio's a different beast, but even then, does it go that high?
Well, it has the M1 Max and the M1 Ultra. 64? Can you get that up? Oh, you can get the Studio up to 128.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I was wondering is, are we about to see a new Mac Pro?
I mean, at some point, I think so. Yeah.
Because that kind of RAM number definitely doesn't come in a laptop form factor. I sort of like forgot about the Studio there for a minute. That makes sense. But those high RAM numbers usually were in the Pro line, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Pro went even higher. But
that's true.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely do that in the Studio today. Though you can't buy a 96 configuration. So that's a new number.
Yeah, it's an odd number. It's like they had to set some RAM laying around, I guess. Yeah, man, that is weird, right? I didn't realize these Studios were this expensive.
Yeah, they're chunky boys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so 128 is only available with the Ultra.
Yes, you have to get the Ultra.
Yeah, so for $1,400 plus another $800, man, you could get this sumbitch up there.
Because the Max is basically the Ultra is 2 Maxes that they made kiss.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so I'm I just don't want to regret. If
No.
they were to announce this like next month, I'd be pissed.
You're fine. I think you'll be all right.
I think I will too.
Yeah.
By the way, man, quick update on that. I used this thing all last week. Or I'm sorry, I've been using this thing all week.
Yeah.
It's
good.
It's so lovely.
It's good, right? Yeah.
It took me a little while to get everything just the way I wanted it. I had to like redo my terminal, and because I didn't back up those settings. That was like the only fiddly bit. I almost had everything installed and didn't need Rosetta.
Oh,
almost didn't need Rosetta.
Yeah.
Azure Storage Explorer, still, whatever reason, they don't have a native version of that.
Yeah.
I think it all runs on Electron.
Yeah.
Or something, or Python. I don't even fucking know. But it required me to install Rosetta, and that just happened yesterday, and I was so upset because every other program, Office, Visual Studio Code, terminal programs, Postman, like all the shit that I use day in and day out, I was set that I saw that fucking Rosetta prompt, and I was so mad. And I mean, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It works surprisingly well. Yeah,
it does. I wanted to be 100% in on the lifestyle.
Yeah, that's hard to do. To do.
But it's been so good. It's so snappy. Like even Outlook and you know, I'll be honest with you. You know where I notice it the most? Teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like before, if I would go away from my computer for a little while and come back and wake it up, Teams would just be like, "Give me a sec, boss." Like it would be like I would see that I had badges for notifications, but it would take a good 20, 30 seconds for Teams to refresh and show me my new messages. Whatever voodoo they're doing for the client for the M1 Mac is just light years ahead of wherever the other one was. And I don't know if I'm on like a dog food internal. I think I have access to it, and I think I like normally there's little things on there that say like if it's a pre-release version, but I don't think this is.
Got it.
Because I don't think the Mac client I can get it. I know the Windows client I can. I don't know. Anyway, it's been great. I'm so glad that I have it, and that's why I was like really super sensitive to this announcement. It's been so good, man. I should have did this forever ago.
You know what app gets me like every day? That's still Intel on my Macs is Authy Desktop, because I'll launch that sucker to get a 2-factor code, and it just takes too long to launch compared to the other ones, and I'm like, fucking Intel application.
You don't use why do you use Authy?
Laziness.
Okay. That's perfectly fine answer.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those 2-factor auth apps on my computer. Like I know 1Password can also do it.
Yeah.
But I just use my phone. I use the authenticator on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I should do. I like copying and paste. I don't know. I should just get rid of it and just use my phone. But yeah.
I mean, it is a pain in the ass to fish that thing out of your pocket and grab one, but and I have to do that. I have to do that a lot. And I'm forced to use a particular one. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That is tied to a phone number. So there are several MFA prompts throughout my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that is just the cost of doing business for me. Anyway. Okay. Enough about Mac stuff. Until we talk about some of your stuff.
Where do you want to go?
I want to talk about this Belkin thing.
Yeah, so
because the last time you had me buy a cleaning kit,
so I haven't bought one of these, and now they're sold out. But have you looked at this? So the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, Belkin, the maker of many fine dongles and chargers and whatnot, they announced a Belkin AirPods cleaner kit. And this thing is intense, Drew. It's intense. So
okay, walk me through it. I'm looking.
Okay, so I also put a link to a YouTube video where they walk you through doing it. But basically what you do, Drew, is
This thing looks more complicated than a COVID home test.
okay, so it comes with this little cloth. Speaking of magic liquid, a little dropper of magic liquid,
Yep.
a very intense looking brush, and something they call cleaning gel.
I'm just, you know what? I think it needs to be said. If you're at your computer or near your phone when you're listening to this, you need to go to our show notes and you need to click on this. There is a sum of money that you could give me that I would put this brush in the tip of my penis. Just for two reasons. One, to prove that I could, and two, I bet you there's some stuff I could get out of there.
Yeah. So if you
or my belly button.
So if you watch this,
I should have said belly button.
If you watch this video, they want you to take this little cloth and they lay it out flat and you put your AirPods on it and you crank off the top of this magic gel and you actually drip 2 drops.
Stop. I'm out.
I know
no.
this. Okay. This bothers me too, because you're taking this liquid and you're dropping it in the grill, the speaker grill of the AirPod, and it's basically earwax softener. It is earwax softener. It's called wax softener.
It has to be some kind of isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah, but
when I used the magical slime goop to try to clean mine, it killed it.
Yeah.
It killed it. And that wasn't even like wet. Right? That was just slimy. This we're actually doing this, huh?
Yeah, it's very frightening. You take the
no fucking way, man.
You take the drops.
No fucking way.
You take the drops and you drop it in there and you let it sit for a couple minutes, and then you use the brush to scrub everything out. And then the last thing you do is you open up the cleaning gel, and I expected it to look like blue tack. Drew, if you would just open up that YouTube video and forward to like around a minute 40 or so. What color is this gel?
Hang on. What color is the gel? Hold on. Oh my God, this music. Okay, stop. Editor's note. You need to put the music of this video on loop while we're talking about this segment.
Okay.
All right,
I can do that.
What am I going to?
Let's go to a minute 35.
Minute 35. Okay, I'm there.
They've cut the top off, and they're gonna pull the gel out.
Oh my God! Is Venom gonna take over my AirPods?
Yeah, it's like. It looks like something if you saw, you'd be like, oh no, there's a problem somewhere. Someone's horribly sick. Like,
yeah. Did my dog my dog continue to poop on things?
Yeah. And not a healthy looking poop. Like,
no.
Yeah. It's like black.
And then you polish these boys up with the microfiber cloth. Mm-hmm. Wash hands when done.
Yeah.
You sink, bro.
Yeah. It's intense. There's a lot. And like, I have no information. I mean, this cleaning kit is $15. $15.
How many people have watched this video?
Me about 4 times. 8.8 thousand views.
Dude, I'm out on this, man. No.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience. And I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to do this. Compatibility. AirPods. Oh, okay. I thought they specifically called out this only works with 3rd generation, but no, it works with all of them.
Yeah.
Not the Pros though. Not the AirPod Pros. You notice?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Why? I wonder, maybe because that nub.
Yeah.
Support. Need more help? Visit the.
Yeah. And like, how many sets of EarPods can you clean with this? They don't really say. I'm guessing it's one. Yeah. Yeah.
That little dropper doesn't last forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And how much is the kit? I didn't even look.
$15.
$15 US dollars. It says in stock on my screen.
Does it?
Yeah. From the Belkin.
Oh, it is in stock. I just refreshed and now they're in stock.
Bro.
Oh, am I gonna have to get one of these?
Hey, listen, you could save 20% off a purchase of $65 or more with promo code GIFT22.
I don't.
You might as well get these as gifts for people.
Give the gift of clean air. Maybe it's a good stocking stuffer for my children.
Listen, my cleaning method for my AirPods is a toothpick to sort of chisel that heinous, dried up orange. It's not even yellow anymore. Orange earwax out of all the crevices. And then I get a alcohol wipe and just wipe it. That's it. That is good enough for me. It's good enough for me. I don't know about all this, man. Like,
I'm afraid of the juice. I'm afraid that juice is going to get in there and do something to it. It says won't damage headphone, but like, what are you gonna do if they do damage the headphones? Like, Bucket's gonna be like, you used it wrong.
Yeah, you fucking did it wrong, you dummy.
Yeah, and Apple's gonna be like, you did what now? You put liquid directly into
Apple puts arms on hips. Oh, you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good find. I would say that if you do buy this, we need a full report. It's your turn. I did the goop last time.
All right.
So
okay,
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out on this.
All right.
You want to know more?
Okay.
God be with you. This is you.
There we go. I'm gonna hit the Apple Pay button and just. Oh my! You know what? I'm out. Shipping is $8. I'm out.
Fuck you.
I'm out.
Like, well, you might just order a bunch.
I don't want a bunch. $8 for shipping.
Well, there's free ground shipping if you order $150 worth of stuff.
I don't need anything else from Belkin.
You still don't need a nightstand?
No, I got.
You don't need a nightstand charger?
I got one. I already have one.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I'll wait. I'll wait till they come to Amazon. I can get it free shipping through Prime. There we go.
Are they not? They're not on Amazon at all?
Not yet. No.
Oh, no, they'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about God of War.
It's a really good fucking video game, Drew. Yeah.
You're all done?
I beat the main story. Rolled credits technically twice. Because there's an ending and then there's the ending.
Right. Thanks, Marvel.
It's just it's a good video game, and the thing that I was just, I don't want to talk spoilers or give anything away, but it is surprising. So you finish the game, and then like there's a pretty obvious like, hey, you need to go do this one last thing to really finish the story, and you go do that. But like there is so much after game content. There are entire areas that don't open up until you beat the game. Like it's the amount of work they put into content that probably a good chunk of the people will never play was just absolutely like mind-blowing. Like, yeah.
So it's interesting to hear you say this, right? Because we talked about this last show. Last show or the show before that, I'd asked you how it was going, and I mean, you were playing it, but you didn't seem like you were super into it.
I still think the first one is a better experience.
Okay.
I think it's tighter and cleaner and shorter. The game the game rambles. It goes on and on and on for a bit, and which I get it, because like originally it was supposed to be 3 games, and they were like, we don't want to make 3 games. That sounds like a lot of work, so let's make it 2 games. So like they crammed a lot of story and stuff into there. But it's still an excellent game. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there's not going to be a third one then.
So they're done with the Norse saga is what they have said.
Okay.
I think there's going to be more video games, but it's not going to be set in the same.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
So again, I have never played a single God of War game.
Okay,
and I understand that there were God of War games before this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They obviously did Ancient Greece, right?
That was the original. Yeah, because he.
What other god?
That's it. It was Greece and then the Norse. So yeah,
maybe Egyptian.
That's what everyone seems to think. To me, that feels a little obvious, but who knows? Yeah, Yeah.
Or maybe something the Asian persuasion.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what are you gonna play next now that this is done?
I don't know. I'm kind of in between right now, Drew.
I got one for you.
Do you know?
Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide.
Is that out on?
Dude, this game screams you.
Okay.
Screams you. Did you play any of the Vermintide games?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, so
it's only on Xbox. I'd have to plug it in.
It's Paul, it's so good. It's so good. So, real quick for people who don't who aren't in the lifestyle. No. Oh,
it's first person. Oh.
It is a Left 4 Dead style game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's real fucking good, buddy. So I played the beta. This game officially launched yesterday, but I've been so busy and had some stuff going on at home, I haven't a chance to play it. But what it is the developers who made this, and is it Night Dive? Hang on a second. I forget the actual developer name.
I can't. I'm on the
Fat
website,
Shark,
but
Fat
I can't
Shark,
find
Fat
it.
Shark.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Fat Shark. So Fat Shark made a game a few years ago called Warhammer Vermintide, and that was the war. So I'm not familiar with the Grimdark, but as I understand it, there's basically two types of Warhammer. There's like Warhammer in the fantasy setting, and then there's Warhammer 40K, which is like in the dark future, right?
Right. Yep.
So Vermintide was like the medieval fantasy Warhammer, and what it was is you had a group of heroes, and there were different classes like a mage, a ranger, a dwarf. I guess dwarf isn't a class, but like little warrior type stuff, a soldier type class, and it was a cooperative game where you played against the AI. You had to go through levels. Every hero had different abilities and different weapons that they would use. You would fight little mini bosses that would show up, and it was like an AI director that if you were doing well, it would throw more enemies at you. If you weren't doing as well, it would give you a little quiet time to sort of heal up, and items would spawn in random places, and it was really cool. Then they did Vermintide 2, which made it even better. But what was really good about those games is the combat was all mostly hand-to-hand. So there was range combat, like there was bows and muskets and shotguns and things, but the majority of the combat was hand to hand. And it was weighty and it was violent and the graphics were really good, and it was just a really well made and balanced game. They had expansion packs for it. I played the shit out of it, and I know some people who listen to the show also played the shit out of it. Now, for the past few years, they've been working on a new entry in this. I guess it's a series where now they are going to the 40K side of the house, and you are basically a reject, as they call it, where you play as one of, I think it's 4 or 5 different classes, basically doing the same thing, but it takes place in the 40K type universe, and you go to different locales. But what really fascinated me about this, Paul, is in the previous game, you played a character, and if you picked, say, the dwarf, you became the dwarf with the dwarf's backstory, the dwarf's mannerisms, all the abilities that the dwarf had. In this, there's actually like a character creation process where you pick what planet you're from, what your background is, and these all have slight differences on how your character is developed. The graphics are awesome. Again, I'm not a 40K connoisseur by any stretch, but if you watch any of the videos playing this, just I don't know. It's real good, man. If you have a passing interest in anything 40K, I think you'd be all over.
It's not going to come out on Xbox till like February, so it is only on Windows now.
Oh, really? I thought it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, but it's not on Xbox yet. The Xbox version they're expecting to come out in February.
Okay, I'm probably going to stream some of this. I know a lot of my friends are playing it. I just haven't had a chance to play with them yet, but it's the beta was very fun. It was janky and it had some bugs, but there's like this giant ogre you can be, and he just wails people around. It's super cool. Yeah, it's a really good game. I think you'd be over that. So check it out if it comes to Xbox and you want to plug in your Xbox. Interesting. It's not coming to PlayStation.
It is not. No plans to come out in PlayStation. Yep.
Interesting. Huh. Well, anyway, I'll be playing it. I'd be surprised if this isn't on Zach's radar.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been playing a lot. He's been going back to Elden Ring.
I really should play that.
Yeah, he's.
I just don't like. I never liked any of the Dark Souls games.
I did not either. He uh I, he loves that thing. He's beat it over and over again. I guess you can like keep playing it and it gets harder and harder as you go. Now I think he's in the let's just have fun with it, and he like watches YouTube videos on silly things you can do and like ridiculous builds, and then goes and does that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, anybody that enjoys those games, I'm not here to yuck your yum. I just don't know if it's for me. But everybody has been really up my ass about playing Elden Ring.
It's just not my style of thing. No.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not. I don't know, man. Not me either. Okay, enough video game talk. I want to bitch about AT&T for a few minutes.
Okay.
So now that I finally got my Mac purchase out of the way, it's time to finally get the iPhones upgraded. I'm so confused, Paul.
Okay.
So I don't love the idea of subsidize or basically my cell phone company leasing me my phone.
I get that. I no longer do that. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And I straight out bought my iPhone 12.
Yep.
My other two phones, I believe, when I upgraded them, I basically went on the payment plan. I think I got like a free phone because I added another line or something. So like I don't think I really paid any extra for my phone. Like they still charge you, but then they give you a credit. It's all very scummy. I don't know how any of it works. But it's time. My wife's phone is old. My work phone is old. My iPhone 12 is starting to be a little crufty. So I have been fighting with the AT&T website for like the past 3 days.
Okay.
Because here's the problem. I qualify for every imaginable promotion. Okay, because all my phones are paid for. Okay. And AT&T has a program that if you upgrade your phone and you do the installment plan, but you trade in your phone, you get a pretty generous credit towards the phone.
Okay.
On the iPhone, so our current family has my iPhone 12 Pro, and my wife has an iPhone XR. My work line is also an iPhone XR. They're willing to give me $300 per iPhone XR on trade-ins.
Oh, okay.
They're willing to give me $800 for my iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's double what Apple wants to give me. So I'm listening.
Okay.
Right? You got me. I'm listening. So I didn't want to go to an AT&T store, and I don't want to talk to a human. So I go to the AT&T website, I sign into my account, and sure enough, it's like, here's all your lines. Hey, guess what? These are each eligible for upgrades. Click a button to upgrade one of the lines. Okay. So let's say I click on my phone. Click on my phone. What phone do you want? I want an iPhone 14 Pro. Okay, cool. Do you want to buy it outright, or do you want to do our installment plan? I want to do an installment plan so I could do the trade-in. Great. Hey, by the way, in order to get the best promotional price, you have to choose a new plan. Okay, what are my plan options? And I talked about this before, where I have to buy a new plan. And it's very hard for me. And again, this isn't my first rodeo. It's very hard for me to know what my bill is now and what my bill is going to be, because they love to give you little fees that don't show up on your estimated cost till I get hit with like a $250 bill, right? And the plan I'm on right now is a mobile share plan, and I guess they don't even do those anymore.
No.
So basically, each of my lines needs like a separate data plan, essentially. And they're anywhere from $40 to $50 per line. I have 3 lines.
Depends if you want 5G and
extra hotspot. Yeah.
Yep.
So let me just back up. Pick my phone, iPhone 14 Pro, do the installment plan, do the trade-in, and it's like, hey, here's what your bill's gonna be next month if you keep your current plan. And it's like, it says like $68 or something. Because it's like $18 for the installment plan. But they're like, hey, if you want the promotional price of like $0 or $8, I think it was going to be like $8 extra a month for my phone.
Okay.
I had to pick a new plan. Okay, while you're here, do you want to upgrade your other lines to these other plans? Because those plans aren't going to be available anymore if you change your plan. Sure. I'll do this plan for my work phone. I'll do this plan for Mandy's. It adds the phone to my cart, and I'm like, well, now I want to go. I want to go upgrade the other lines.
Oh, because you changed plans, it's not going to let you. Or
I apparently can only upgrade one phone at a time.
Oh.
And I don't know. And like, I'm scared. I'm legit scared because I can see it coming. I can see it coming.
Mm-hmm.
I upgrade my phone. I upgrade all the other lines. I go back in and upgrade the other phone, and it's not going to honor the promotional price because I didn't change my line types.
Yeah.
I see it fucking coming,
you're
right?
Have to go into a store, Drew.
Plot twist. Plot twist. I did.
You
I
did.
So after my workout tonight, I went to an AT&T store and I sat down with a nice gentleman and explained to him the exact situation I had.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, your phone's only worth $100. No, chief, that's not what the website says. So like, he was able to help me understand what my monthly bill for my services were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers he was quoting me on like what these phones were going to be were much, much higher than what the website was saying. And I feel like the truth is somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
So what I might end up doing is upgrading my wife's line and just buying 2 other fucking phones. Like, I don't know what else to do, man.
Yeah.
Like, take the money and run, I guess. But it's so frustrating. Like, why can't I upgrade all 3 of these phones at one time while I'm picking the other lines?
Yeah.
It's so shitty, man. Like, I just want to get these phones upgraded. Because, like, I mean, my phone battery is rough. My phone battery is rough after 2 years.
Yeah. I'm in a state now where, like, I haven't really spent a lot of time trying to figure all this out completely yet. But I know I want to switch to Verizon, so I'm looking.
I thought you did.
I have not yet. I'm still on AT&T for reasons that are complicated. And
okay.
One of the reasons is because for some reason I have a account that I use to log into our shared AT&T everything. But for some reason, that account is marked as a secondary account, not a primary account, and then therefore I can't get the transfer pins that I need to port my numbers over. Yeah, like they don't want to make it easy. So, yeah, that's going to be a phone call at some point. Like, how is this a secondary account? There is no other account. This is the account I use.
I actually called, like, when I first started having problems with the website on, like, Monday, I called, and I knew within the first 15 seconds, this person is not going to be able to help me.
Yeah.
And I just hung up. Yeah. I just hung up and set my phone down, and I was like,
yeah,
I got to figure this out on my own.
I know. That's my fear is if I call in and basically like, hey, I don't want to be your customer anymore, but I need the numbers that I give to the other people I want to use to not be your customer anymore. Can you help me with that? And they're going to be like, nope. So
it's gross, man. It's all gross. How were, not for nothing, how was the plans on Verizon comparing cost-wise?
They're more expensive. They just
are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, my bill is going to go up when I switch over.
Well, you have 4 lines, right?
I have 4 lines. Yeah.
Services only. Where are you at ballpark on your AT&T bill? Are you clocking 200?
I think it's less than that now. It was when I was using them to buy phones. Hold on, I can tell you real quick as I log in here. Which one is that? That's the one I want. Fuck, send me a code, whatever. Jesus.
Yeah. Leave this all in.
Here we go. It's loading.
Just 1 minute. They're almost there.
Okay, so my total bill. I need to see my bill. No, I will not give you feedback on your goddamn website. It is $163.94.
Okay, see, that's interesting, right? Because mine, right? Mine as is right now. And again, I'm not paying for any phones. Let me go.
Yeah, this is no phones. This is all service.
This is no phones, all services. Hold on, I have to sign in. Because now I want to compare notes, right? Okay. Yeah, text me a code. You got it.
Yeah. So I am on the unlimited extra, and everyone else is on the unlimited starter.
That is like exactly what my plan is going to be, is to put my main phone on that, because that's what I would be tethering to. And everything else is just I need it. I need to have a pulse, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife doesn't use that much data, honestly. Okay, see my bill. My bill issued. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. I have a mobile share. So my current plan is a mobile share advantage 20 gig. Okay. And it has 3 devices on it. So the monthly charge for that is, with taxes, like $80.
Okay.
And then each of my lines is $24 on top of that. And that comes out to be $154. Now, if I understand correctly, my new plan would be, with the corporate discount I get, would be like 45 plus 45 plus 55. I'd be at 145 for services. And that sort of tracks, right? Because you're at, what were you at?
163.
163 for 4 lines? Wow, you must be getting a great deal on your lines, man.
I don't know. I think it's just list price, but like, I mean, so 3 of them are $35 a month plus $4.72 in fees. And
mine's not that cheap. Like if I go to upgrade my iPhone Pro right now,
maybe they did.
You must have got a hell of a deal, dude, because I'm just going to click through. I'll tell you what it's going to cost me right now. So upgrading my line, the AT&T Unlimited starter plan is $45 a month.
Oh, so I'm only paying $35 for that.
Yeah, and I think the one that's one step up for that is $55. You must have got a deal, bud.
I must have.
And like I'm assuming I'm getting my corporate pricing. Yeah, the AT&T Unlimited is $50 a month. So I'd be paying about $140. It says, and it has it scratched out. It's like AT&T Unlimited Premium is $50 a month, was $70.
Yeah, so I see the list. Yeah, the list price is $45. I'm getting $30. Yeah, and the one that the unlimited extra that I'm paying $45 is now $50, which I could get it for $40 right now if I wanted to upgrade my wife's to that, which she doesn't need it.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a racket, man. And like, yeah, and it would be like, I think it would be, let's see, if I go in here, go to cart, continue without device protection. I want Apple Care. I don't want your shit. Let's see here. So Apple iPhone 14 due today. What's the taxes? Due monthly. $15 for the phone. Yeah, that would be. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see. I just check out so fucking fast because none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. I don't understand why it just can't be like easier than this. They make it so fucking hard. They get new fucking plans every fucking day. Ugh, so angry. All right, in the 2 or so minutes we have left, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this, Drew? I literally saw this. I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw this go through. Someone retweeted it. This is an article from Gizmodo, and the headline reads, "Sci-fi board game Terraforming Mars has been optioned for film."
Listen. These companies will throw anything at the wall to see what it sticks. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that it will become a movie. It just means that if they are going to make it a movie, someone has bought the rights to it.
It must be said, Terraforming Mars is a fantastic game. No.
Everyone likes it way more than I do.
I have yet to win.
Oh, I haven't even come close.
I have yet to win, but when I sit down and play this with friends, I always enjoy myself. I think it is a very cool game. I think it is a very well-designed game. I think that like
I think
the
I
different.
think the game would be better if it had like half of the cards.
No, see, no. I
it's
think
too
that I think
unpredictable.
I
It's
think
too
that
random.
I think that the volume of the cards is part of it.
It's a perfectly. I would say it's a good game. It's not a great game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's very, very good. It's one of my favorite games in my collection. I think it could be a movie because like the theme of like actually these mega projects and how it transformed Mars and how like some of the cards are like, hey, here's a meteor you can slam into your opponent. Like it's
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, I guess there is a story behind it, but there's like no character. I don't know. Who knows?
yeah, there really aren't characters. The
Yeah.
main actors in the game are corporations, right?
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, but then again, why wouldn't you make a game out of why wouldn't you make a movie out of Civilization?
Yeah. I mean, they
You
made
know?
a movie out of Battleship, so
Did you ever watch that?
no.
Be honest.
I have not
Okay.
watched it. No.
Like
no.
you even accidentally watched it?
I probably watched the trailer.
Okay. I haven't either. I
Yeah.
can honestly say that I have not even like accidentally seen that. Like I haven't been in a hotel or on an airplane and accidentally like taken a bunch of Xanax.
I have had the ability to watch it in an airplane. I have chosen not to.
Okay.
Though that might be a good airplane movie. You know, like just total.
Yeah, things crashing and blowing up. Yeah, you know me.
Oh yeah, sorry, Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I want to watch.
Oh,
Here, why don't you watch this 9/11 documentary on a plane? Nope.
oh.
This is fascinating. This is fascinating. It really doesn't say anything. It's just like, hey, if we ever, yeah, you're right. It's just the opposite.
It's a production company bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, would not have seen that coming.
No,
like you said, there's a million different board games you could do.
like Gloomhaven, like
Gloomhaven. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
What are some other ones? Like, what's a board game? What's a board game you could see getting made to a movie before this?
Oh,
We'll end the show when we go completely off the rails. So Gloomhaven's a good choice.
Yeah.
Gloomhaven's a good choice.
Gloomhaven is a good choice.
You know what?
Pandemic.
Pandemic, great choice. Castles of Bad King Ludwig.
Oh, I could see it.
I could see this increasingly like arms race, crazy, like people building castles that are like obnoxious. I could see it. Throw Adam Sandler in there. I don't know. What else? Werewolf.
Yeah. Werewolf.
Yeah, it's like a whodunit, right?
Yeah.
What are some other ones?
Oh,
I'm racking. It's gonna get ugly here in a minute. Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride. There you go. Ticket to Ride.
No. What else? There's got to be another one in there. I'm thinking about what's one we always play. I'm struggling. I can't think of any other good ones.
Let's just see what's the hotness on Board Game Geek right now. Let's see.
I could see Kingdom Death.
Yeah.
I think Pandemic would make a great.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, really though, they've already made that movie a bunch of times. If you think about it,
True.
like Contagion.
Yeah. Yep.
Or Outbreak. I mean, they've made that. I think Gloomhaven's probably the best thing. I think that might be the best one.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling.
The Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Maybe Mansions of Madness. I mean,
I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, have there really been any good Eldritch horror movies?
I don't. If there are, I don't know them. Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah. I think that whole Cthulhu mythos is just ripe for it.
Yeah. I would probably watch that.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough. We got really geeky tonight, man.
We did.
We got really geeky tonight. Let's get me out of here.
Yeah. Hey. We're on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. You can find this episode at doingtheirbest.com/174. I just got the episode number 174. We're on Twitter still at doingbestpod. I'm on Twitter at Paul Baylor. Where can we find you, Drew?
I'm still on Twitter at PITTFURG for now.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, are you doing anything else with Mastodon yet?
I'm following some more people. I boosted, which is their version of retweeted, a few things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet. I'm almost there.
There is a really good tool called Move to Dawn. I'll put this link in here real quick. Basically, if you hook it up to your Mastodon account and your Twitter account, it basically looks at people's Twitter profiles. And if they have a Mastodon account in there, it lets you find them and follow them automatically. So you can run it periodically and it'll go, oh, this person added one. You can just follow them. So yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drop a link in that. That might be interesting.
Yep.
All right, everybody, we're out of here.
Thanks for listening.